Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Boss Talks. I'm Kristine Drummond. I've got the outstanding Joel Lord with me today, and we are bringing you another sensational episode. And today we're going to talk about, doing whatever it takes. We're seeing a lot of people out there that are being quite placid, and they're being sort of stuck in their comfort zones. So if you love the information that we give you today, we are going to rock your world. We're going to get that fire in your belly burning bright, hopefully by the end of this podcast, so that you flick the switch. And if you love it, our only fee that we ask from you is that you share it. We want to get this information out to the masses. We want to turn sheeples into leaders, and we want you to go and live a boss life. We want you to be the boss of your life. So that's all we ask, is that you share these podcasts with other people, share it on your social media, share it with friends and family, because we want you to live a more inspired life, whatever that looks like for you. But today, Joel, we are talking about doing whatever it takes, having that mentality, and it literally is just flicking the switch and making the decision that, yep, that's the goal that I want, and now I'm going to do whatever it takes. And you kind of unleash the beast. You let whatever is inside you come out, and you just give it a crack. You go for it. And that's what doing whatever it takes means to me. Now, Joel, I've been in business. I've had my own businesses for years, all different types of businesses. But when I became a mum, I had the excuse to kind of go, you know what, you can take your foot off the pedal a bit now. You can, kind of mellow out a little bit. But no, I had big goals, and I didn't want to use my kids as the excuse. So whenever I had to go to a meeting, whenever I had to go to a training, whenever I had to listen to self-development or training in the cars, I did it. The kids have listened to it. They've grown up with that kind of stuff. So, instead of using our kids as the excuse, we can use them as our fuel to do better, to leave a legacy life for them, and that's what I think that we're going to touch on a little bit today as well. But it also comes down to, most of us, 58% of people out there have not created the lifestyle that they've desired, and they don't even have any more than $1,000 in the bank should an emergency arrive. No, like 58% of people don't have savings, and for me that's scary, and it shows that people aren't out there either managing their money properly or doing whatever it takes to get ahead, and to be in that position would be quite scary, because if your fridge breaks down, your washing machine breaks down, what are you going to do? Okay, so today on this podcast, Joel, we're going to be talking to people about doing whatever it takes. I'm going to give them some tips on how to flick that switch. But what would you like to add in this beginning part?
Oh, well, what an intro. And look, it's just like you've got one life, and what are you waiting for? Like I coach a lot of people, and in my journey, and honestly, if I've heard it hundreds of times that people are in dire straits and they can actually see the Mack truck coming. They're standing on the road. Like, you hear the metaphor about the feather, the brick, and then the Mack truck, and the universe teaches you with the feather, tickles you with the feather. And if you don't listen, then it throws a brick at you. And then, it happens in relationships, happens in businesses, it happens in just general life, health. But people don't listen, and like it's all well and good if a Mack truck blindsides you, Well, first of all, are you doing whatever it takes to make sure that you can recover from that? Do you have the savings when the bad news comes or your fridge breaks down, like you said? Do you have the savings to overcome that? But like, what is more infuriating, I guess, and sad, I used to get angry. Now I'm just like, well, I'm going to have a good life, whether you do this or not. But like, they stand there and they can see that there's like 3 months in time they're going to lose the house, but they just sit there in like not doing anything about it. When you've got time, when the universe gives you time to make a change, to change your life, and it's not like I didn't necessarily live in the old days, but now there's the internet. You've got YouTube. I'm sure if you Googled your problem, you'd have the solution would come up. Someone would have been, they're not your problems. Everyone's, other people prior to you have had the same problems. And that brings you to another like thing that you often hear in coaching is like people believe that they're the only one on the planet that's ever had that problem.
Yeah.
It's really easy. It's a really great process to just go, okay, so no one else has ever overcome this problem. And they go, no. And you're like, well, can we play detective? And is that a challenge? Let's go find someone. And that'll break their belief that they're the only one having it. It's impossible, you know. But that's it. Like, honestly, I've had financial disasters in the past, and we're talking off camera before this. When that happened, I was willing to work myself into the ground, like 24 hours a day, and or I was either going to be dead on the side of the road or waving from the top. And there was no in-between option. And there's that grey area that people have where they think, oh, well, I'm just far enough away from pain. I'm not going to keep chasing that masterpiece life. And like, if you aren't willing to go for it, time will run out.
Yeah.
Regret is painful. It's more painful than the pain of what you're going to go through to get the result that you're after. So yeah, like far out. Like, I hope you hear the passion in my voice. Like, do it now.
Yeah, absolutely. And life's hard, and none of us are going to get out of it alive. You know, we're not. And it's risky. Life is risky. Okay. You are going to have to take some risks. But for me, in this life, you get to choose your hard. And sometimes, it comes in seasons, and you're going to have to go harder than other times. However, you've got to have that mentality that it's not going to be like this forever. You know, there's going to be a time where you're going to have to go maybe do 2 or 3 jobs. I know when I was going through university, I had my own catering business. I was also working full time, plus I had university as well. And it was crazy. It was stressful and crazy, but I knew that it was just a phase, you know, and I grew the lessons from that phase of my life. I'm still reaping the benefits from that. So just know that, you know, having that do whatever it takes mentality, you become a different person. You become unstoppable. You become fearless. You become fierce. You start doing things that you normally wouldn't do because you've flicked the switch. And a lot of people, and we were talking off camera before about this, like there's stuff going on in my life that thousands of other people are experiencing as well. But I choose to look at the positives always. I choose to have a different mentality about what is going on. But there's people out there that don't live at that level of consciousness. They play smaller, and they try and drag me down because what I'm going through, they choose to see the dark side, whereas I choose to see the light. So it's how you show up in the world, you know, and the more that I show up with a positive attitude, the more positive things happen to me. It's amazing. Yes, the universe is always going to throw things at you to balance you out, and you can't have good without bad. You can't have peace without war. You know, you can't have dark without light. So everything happening in humanity happens in duality, but so much of it, guys, comes down to your mental perspective, like how you look at it, what you take from it. And we're always, there's an abundance of opportunity around us every single day. So we come across people quite regularly who are who are about to lose their homes, who are about to, you know, make a decision like, should I stay with my husband, or should I stay with my wife, or should I leave them? Am I doing the right thing, staying in this relationship, this toxic relationship with the kids, or do I need to get out now? Am I doing the right thing, staying in this job where I'm being bullied, or do I go and create my own future, my own, you know, take the reins back? Like, opportunities are around us all the time. You just have to make the decision that you're going to do whatever it takes to live your best life. And if you've got kids, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family to be the example, to not settle. Because here's the truth. We get in life what we tolerate. And what are you tolerating? You know, and we come across so many individuals that are putting up with shit in life that they don't have to put up with. I'll give you an example. You know, Tom and I have an incredible relationship. We very, very, very rarely fight. Actually, in the 10 years we've been nearly together, I don't think we've had a major fight. We talk things out, we discuss, we agree to disagree. And Tom knows, because I value myself, because I know I'm worthy of being the way that I want to be treated. He has never once in his life put me down in front of somebody else. He's never made a joke about anything that makes me feel small. He has never, he's never made me feel less than a queen, I guess, because that's the level of respect I treat myself with. And that's the level of respect that I demand from him. Not that I demand it, but that's what he gives me. And we don't play any lower than that. But I see relationships out there where the women or the man take shit from their partners and they tolerate that. And you know what? If you've got kids, what message is that sending your kids? And Lauren Lahav has this amazing book coming out. It's called Having the Courage to Raise a Gentleman. And my mission in life is to help raise the consciousness of mums so they really understand the power that they have in raising that next generation. And you have to do whatever it takes. That's what this podcast is about, to have the courage to raise these gentlemen, to raise these independent women the way that we want. And it's going to be against the status quo sometimes. Sometimes we're going to have to step away from being a sheeple, from following the masses and go, you know what? I'm choosing to play above the line. I'm choosing to parent in a different way because I actually give a shit about how my kids turn out. I give a shit about what kind of individual they're going to be, and I want them to make an impact in the world. I want them to leave the world in a better place than when they entered it. Okay, so doing whatever it takes doesn't just apply to your job. It doesn't just apply to your business. It applies to your parenting. It applies to you showing up in your relationship with your partner. Doing whatever it takes means you're putting your best foot forward. And do you get it wrong sometimes? Absolutely. I make mistakes on a daily basis. I say the wrong things and then I try and get the fishing line to pull back in what I just said. And you can't. It's out there now. But I'm doing whatever it takes, and I know, and I'm okay with making mistakes along the way. I'm not going into paralysis where I don't even take a step because of the fear of fucking up. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do my best because I'm coming from good intentions always. So doing whatever it takes is being that kind of person that you want to be, and having the risk to take those steps that you need to take. And honestly, you're not always going to get it right, and people are going to judge you for it, but guess what? They're going to judge anyway. So you might as well go out there and be the best human being that you can.
Yeah, well, Gary Vee, like I was saying before, he says that the distinct advantage he has and other entrepreneurs have is that his mistakes are his to own.
Yep.
So if he loses money or he makes a mistake or he says the wrong thing or he does the wrong thing or something like that, he's not worried about someone in the comments. He's not worried about the next door neighbor. He's not worried about anyone like that. It's his mistake to own, and it's only for him to worry about. He says, and by doing that, having that mentality, you build a strong foundation that you can build your empire at speed. Because if you're stopping off every 5 seconds along the road to your goal, asking people what they think, or even when they're waving you down, getting you to listen to what they think, it's going to slow you down and you're going to never get there because we've only got 80, 90, in my case, 120 plus years to get there. And I guess therein lies the curse, because we, in all honesty, we do seem to have longevity. We do seem to have a long time, and that makes people complacent about just how hard they run for it, how hard they go for it. And, no one's coming to save us. That's the other thing. Someone's not going to come in and help you raise your kids. Someone's not going to come and put more money in your bank. No one's going to knock on your door while you're sitting down watching Netflix 13 hours a day or whatever happens, to come buy your product. No one's going to come start your business for you. It's just not going to happen. Now, I'm sure you can Google where something amazing luck has happened for someone, but people win the lotto too. But I wouldn't rely on that. Some magic's not just going to happen without doing some work.
Some are waiting for inheritance.
I've heard that. I've heard that. Some people sit on a rock and manifest and do nothing else. They think they can meditate $1 million. I just
never want to be doing meditation then, wouldn't they?
I just want to go out there, right, and just say, to put that to bed, right? So, and I apologize if you are one of these people that's selling this to people. The only people that are making money and manifesting money from that manifestation stuff and telling you that that's all it takes are the people that are selling you that. It does actually take work. So if you listen to the actual people that they're probably like getting this stuff from, like Joe Dispenza and people like that, you're going to hear the truth. It actually takes work. Andy Priscilla visualizes. Part of his next level of the 75 hard is 10 minutes of visualization of what you want every morning. So he's a big believer in the law of attraction, but it's not how you're going to get there. Yes, you need to visualize what you want. Yes, hear that part, but don't believe that that's the only key to it. There's more to it. You've actually got to create some energy in the physical world to make that happen. And it's more than just sitting there listening to like whatever those bowls are. I don't listen to them, but I'm sure they're fair income or playing with crystals and stuff. But no one's coming to save you.
No one is coming to save you. No, it's all on us, isn't it? And it's taking ownership. It's taking ownership and stop pointing the finger. Go and look in the mirror and take some self-responsibility. You are exactly where you need to be in life right now. But here's the thing. Have you got the lessons? Have you got the lessons? Are you taking notice of the lessons? And you're going to have to start thinking differently, because the person that got you to where you are today is not the person that's going to get you to where you want to go. You're going to have to grow. You're going to have to expand. You're going to have to read different books, listen to different podcasts, get different mentors, hang out with different people. Stop doing the same mundane shit that you're doing on a daily basis. It takes work, guys, but it starts with having the different thought process. And to do that, you need to start challenging your thoughts. You need to start filling your mind, fueling it with other people's, mentorship, I guess. There's so many thought-provoking leaders out there that are giving you free information on a daily basis. Like, with so many podcasts, like Boss Talks is one, so that should be your number one. But there's so many podcasts out there that you can listen to while you're going for a jog. You can listen to in the car. You can listen to while you're cooking dinner. That you can absolutely get thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of value that these people are giving you for free and helping you live a better life, helping you do whatever it takes. And as Joel said, no one is coming to save you. And if you're sitting there waiting to win the lotto, if you're sitting there waiting for inheritance, guess what? This is what happens to people that win the lotto and get the inheritance. This money floods in, right? And then they dwindle it down to a level where their self-worth lies. So even if I gave our listeners, and here's the true value, this is how abundant our life is. If the world's wealth was distributed amongst every single human being, we would all have $10 million each. Now, I want a piece of that $10 million. I've got big projects. I actually need more than that to work on some of the projects, okay? So I'm going further than that, but I want a piece of that 10 million. But here's the thing. Most of us will get rid of that 10 million within the first, couple of years, and we will dwindle it back down to a level where we're comfortable. It might be 40,000 a year. It might be whatever. But this is where lotto, if you go and look at all the statistics about lotto winners, very rarely do they ever keep the money. It's gone. They spend it on materialistic things. They live above their means. They don't handle the money properly. And this is why you have to do the mental work. You have to do the mental work so that you can understand your worth, so you can understand and get clarity around why you're here, what you want to achieve with your life, and then come up with that mentality that you're going to do whatever it takes to go after those goals that you want. So
I guess how do you handle people when you're coaching them that say, here's my big goal, I'm going for it, I'm all in, but then they, you get 6 months down the track and they're saying stuff like, oh, well, that was going to happen, but that didn't really work out because my kids got sick, or, oh, that really didn't happen because we got sick, or, something else happened.
I think you just got to call people on their shit. You got to call people on their shit. And you know what? Sickness is a funny one, and we've both been off our game a little bit because we've had illness creep in. And to be honest, guys, I was hit with this virus and I was asking myself, is this what it feels like to die? Because I was so sick. But you know what? With social media and everything like that, you can still be cracking on. you know, and that's what we did. We still showed up for our team. We still, even though we're not feeling 100% on our game, we flicked that switch a long time ago. We're in that. We're doing whatever it takes. Sickness is not going to take us out, you know, and I've been able to set up a legacy. I've been able to set up, you know, from my parenting, that even if I died tomorrow, my kids would still be good people from the work that I've put in. You know, my business would continue because I've surrounded it and built it up with the right people around me. You know what I mean? So I think it's all about calling people on their shit, but you've got to look inward. You know, you've got to look inward. And when you're more in spirit, when you're more centered, when you're more aligned with your values, and here's the thing, Joel, like I don't see people living within their values out there. You know, and I think that's so important. We've got to help people get back to, well, what's important to you? Is family one of your highest values? Well, if family is one of your highest values and you're working 2 jobs and you're very rarely seeing your family, do you think you're going to be able to be your best self when your number one priority, you're not even getting to participate in that arena? Like for me, my highest values are travel, which is why I'm on the Gold Coast today. Education, which is why we do these podcasts, and inspiration. So they're 3 of my highest values, and my family sort of comes in, you know, in my top 5, but I'm here to leave a bigger legacy than my family. Does that make sense? I'm here to make a bigger difference, a bigger impact. And you've got to find out what's important to you. What are your top values? And then how can you incorporate those into your day? And if you're not living your values, you can't be yourself, because you live in someone else's values. If you've put yours aside and on the shelf so that you can go and work for the man, you're living that person's values, not your own. You don't have control of how you spend your time and who with and all those kind of things. So it's about taking a look at, like, how are you spending your time? Because at the end of the day, Joel, when we work it all out, when we take out sleep, when we take out all the things that we need in life, we get 8 quality years. That's it. We get 8 quality years over our lifetime to live life on our terms. That's it, guys. 8 years. Like, when was that you that told me that?
I was the one that told you that.
You told me that, and
Yeah,
I was just like, oh my gosh, I got to get to work because I want to live more than 8. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's amazing. So, yeah, once you take sleep, mundane tasks like driving to and from work, watching TV,
cooking, pooping,
all that sort of stuff, cleaning your teeth, pooping. You're left with, if the average lifespan is 80 years, you're only left with 8 years to do what you want, unless you make massive changes. So now that you know that, how much more gratitude will you have? How much more, how much harder will you go for it? Like, it's just, if you've got a product that can help people with that, you need to get it out there, and you need to not be frightened, because eventually it'll and here's the thing, for the people that are starting out, that are so worried about what people think, let them think that. Let them alienate from you. Like, it's okay, because all they're doing is creating a vacuum of people that do want your stuff. Like, you wanted it. Like, this is what I looked at, like, in our industry. Like, one of our businesses is network marketing, and I was looking at this like conference with, I've been in conference rooms with like 4,000 or 5,000 people, and if you want certainty that people want that product, you go put yourself in a room with 5,000 people and you go, holy crap, there are people out there, and if there's this many, then there must be more, because there's people that don't know about this. There's, you know, so if you're in that industry, if you're in coaching, you're in anything, like, get out there, like get out there and let people know. But Kristine, like I just want to be wary of what we're saying here. You know, we're saying do whatever it takes, and sometimes that can be mistakenly thought of as go and work super hard and not actually have a plan, like trajectory. So, you know,
or do something illegal. Please don't go out there and do something illegal.
We're not, like, it's not time to rob a bank.
Yeah.
It's not time to rob a bank. But what I'm saying is, like, you know, the people that have got this amazing, amazing work ethic, and they're listening to this going, I am doing whatever it takes. I am working 3 jobs and I still can't get ahead. Like, the people that, like, and to politely to you guys out there, and You can run west as hard and as fast as you can, but you're never going to see the sunrise. So you've actually got to have a plan of action. If you haven't got one, go find a mentor that's done what you want to do already. Like what's the metaphor? Like you're going through the thickest of thick jungles and someone else has already cut their way through. Well, don't let your ego think that you've got to cut your own path. Just walk down their path. Just like model what they're doing. Man.
Success leaves clues.
Oh my God.
It really does.
Now I just copy. I show you how I'm so great at modeling success that I have it on a PDF and I can copy it. I've got this systems. It's like that easy, and you build yourself a track and you run on it all day. There's nothing. It takes it out of here and puts it on paper, and you can just go and do it, and you can expect measurable results that are similar to the person that went before you. So to get that, you need a mentor. Don't go crazy and go the wrong way. Like, what do you have to say about that? The people that just have a massive work ethic that are hearing this, they're thinking, shit, now these guys are telling me to work another 20 hours a week, or, why am I not getting this? Why am I not getting it?
Well, if you think about it like this, when people want to get fitter, what do? They hire a PT. They get a coach. When people want to get healthier, what do? They go see a nutritionist. They go get a coach. That's it's the same with life, guys. If you want a better life, you need a life coach. You need someone to guide you in the direction, because most of it, and 8 years ago, I didn't even know what self-development was. I was in the corporate world and I had my blinkers on. I had no idea this whole different world, this whole different mindset. I could live this amazing, positive. I didn't know that existed. I was just doing what I thought society wanted me to do. I fit the mold. I just went and got a good education, went and found a great company, and I was working my way up that corporate ladder, But when I hit that glass ceiling, when all the politics and the backstabbing, the negativity started to steal my soul, that's when I had to get out. I had the courage to change careers. I became a personal trainer because I love helping people. And then I moved, exactly like what you've done with your family. I moved from Adelaide to the Gold Coast for a better life, for a changing lifestyle. But so many of us get stuck. We get born into places and that's where we'll stay and we'll die, when there's this whole world out there of opportunity and experience that we could be having. So I don't know where I was going with that, but I think it's really important for you guys to know that you can't do it alone. You need someone guiding you, a coach, a mentor. And this is why I really love the network marketing profession, Joel, because I have at my fingertips, at the end of a text message, at the end of the phone call, I have access to people like Jeff Roberti, who is a multi-million-dollar earner, who has a duplicatable system, who has a legacy business, a legacy life. And I know that I can ring Jeff and go, Jeff, what about this? Or can you help me with this? And he'll give me his time and he'll coach or mentor me through whatever challenge I'm facing. I get access to people like Lauren Lahab. I got to spend the day with her yesterday. She's here from the US. She came to the Gold Coast, has this amazing Heart-Driven Women event. Now, she's a great friend of mine. I have her at the end of the other line. I can ring her whenever I want and know that she's there to serve me, that in that moment, she is going to give me her full attention and guidance and mentor me in the direction that she sees. Because sometimes when we're in the trenches, we can't see what we're supposed to be seeing. We're not getting the lesson, the growth that we need. And we need that mentor. And Joel and I do this for each other. We're business partners, but we can pick up things, okay? And we can coach each other in this. And what I love about the network marketing profession is that you get access to all these coaches, all these thought-provoking leaders for free. Like, that people pay. And a lot of these people have coaching programs and things like that where people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars, or, they're running seminars. When you're in this profession, you get access to that for free, and these people are invested in your success, because when you shine, when you become a better version of yourself, it raises the whole vibration of the planet. It raises the consciousness. We get to literally help people be kinder, be more compassionate, communicate, be more connected. In a time where we're so connected technologically, we have never been more disconnected as a race. And I hope you guys can really see that. There are so many people feeling so isolated, feeling like they're the only person going through that challenge, going through that problem. And I want to tell you today that's bullshit, because if you've thought it, if you've experienced it, someone else has as well. And I've been in rooms, Joel, of people that have had horrendous, absolutely horrendous things happen to them. You know, things that you wouldn't even want to repeat. It's horrible. But I've seen these people turn this trauma into triumph. I've seen them turn it from a negative experience into a positive. I've seen them come out the other side and absolutely own who they are, all of it, because they've got that I'm doing whatever it takes mentality. I don't want this thing to hold me back anymore. I don't want to feel like a victim. I don't want to feel like I'm the only one, you know, and they do the work. They get the coaches, the mentoring that they need to go back and rewrite history so that they can free themselves and move forward. And you know what? The most freeing time for me in my life was when I stopped giving a shit about what other people thought. I kept thinking, running stories in my head, oh, if I say this, they're going to think that. If I do this, they're going to judge me about this. But guess what? Most people are not even thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves, you know, and the people that are going to judge are going to judge anyway, you know, and you're going to get things wrong. So who cares? Just go out there and be yourself, your true, authentic self, your badass, unstoppable, fearless version of you, and do whatever it takes to live your best life. Because at the end of the day, you get 8 good years. 8 good years to do what you want.
That's outstanding. So it's a big wake-up call, isn't it?
It is.
Like 100%, like what I picked up from that, and my greatest tip for you guys to move forward, to start doing whatever it takes, is to treat negativity like the plague. So like absolutely don't accept negativity. Now I've moved house and I'm going to have to dig my sign out. We actually have signs that say no negativity allowed. We got them from Grant Cardone. But it's the most amazing thing. Like, so as soon as like we've had discussions when I've felt negativity, like I get the guillotine out. I just get the big machete out and I just chop it off and like get lost. Because it's just, there's no upside to it. There's no upside to negativity. Like, it's ego. It's like something, it's going to paralyze you. So keep it away from you. Keep it totally away from you, and then keep your eye on the prize. And all you need to know is where you are, what your prize is, and what's the next step. And just keep taking that next step. That's the next question. What's the next step? What's the next step? So, like, we know from the business that we're building, I know what my next steps are. And that's all I care about. Like, okay, how do I do that? And we heard like multi-million-dollar speakers last night at one of our events, like say, they didn't hear all the other noise. They just heard what they needed to do. And they went and did it. And then they got the result. So that's all you need to do. So if you're sitting at home listening to this, or hopefully you're listening to it in the gym or on a jog or something like that, something really empowering. But if you want to know, like, the tip to do whatever it takes, like, you don't need to do like whatever it takes to the goal. Like, the goal is going to happen. You just need to do whatever it takes to do the next step.
I love that. And I want to go back to what you were saying about the negativity as well, because I got asked recently, Kristine, how do you deal with all the negativity? How do you deal with, you know, and I was like, what negativity? Like, I don't see it. I don't get it. Because it's what you tolerate. I don't tolerate negativity. I don't tolerate it in my household. Joel doesn't either. And oh my God, when you start putting up some boundaries and go, you know what, I don't want any negativity, you live a more blissful life, let me tell you. And even people like my dad has dementia at the moment. We were talking about this before. And people see that as such a negative thing. And it is. It's a horrible disease. But what our family's choosing to do is to focus on the positive. So I have negative people try and drag me down and get me to feel really negative about it. And it's such an icky feeling. And I'm like, no, that I'm not choosing to look at it like that. You know, I'm having the most amazing experience with my dad right now. You know, he is kinder. He's more compassionate. We have time. We actually have time where we can sit down, hold hands, go for walks. We can watch the footy, have a beer. He can come to my house for dinner. Like, I'm right there on his doorstep. You know, this is incredible. This is an incredible blessed time in our life. You know, there's nothing negative about it at all, apart from he is deteriorating, but we're not seeing that. We're not choosing to focus on that. So I'm giving our listeners permission today, Joel. Like, we're giving you permission to live life like that. When you live life where all you see is positivity, the colors are brighter. You smell more things. You're more alert. You just look at things differently. It is so amazing. And guess what? The negative people in your life, they either change and become more positive, or they piss off because they're sick of being around someone so positive. You know. So
have you ever been unfollowed because reason was you're too positive?
Yes.
I've had that happen to me. They actually say, sorry, I can't follow you anymore because you're too positive. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
And I was actually going for a walk with a client the other day, and they were going through some stuff, and I just said, well, look up, don't look down. They were walking and they were looking at their feet. I'm like, there's nothing good there.
Yeah.
It's just stinky down there. Let's look up. Look up. That's where all the penthouse, the top floors, the aeroplanes, the travel, the second floor of amazing houses. Look up.
Yep.
It's all just doing that alone.
Yeah.
Will change your perception of life, and you'll hear the birds, you'll see like the trees, the green, the awesome part of the trees is up the top.
So I climbed a tree yesterday.
Copycat.
Because I think when we become parents, and this is for the parents out there, we become sensible. We become less of a risk taker. And I see trees all the time, and I'm like, oh, I'd love to climb that tree. That looks like such an awesome tree. But I don't. Oh, you're a mum. You've got to be sensible. But yesterday I was like, fuck it. I'm going up this tree because this is an awesome tree. And you know what? It's a different perspective when you're up a tree. You see the world different. It's the same getting up high in buildings. If you ever want to set grand dream goals, go high. Go up in a building where you can see a beautiful view and start setting your dreams and goals from there, because it's a different perspective. And I don't know where I was going with that. I've lost my train of thought.
It's awesome. Hey, well, I climbed a tree and did a Facebook Live. I didn't see a Facebook Live from you. Come on. But no, you're right. And here's a strategy I'm just making up on the spot. Go rent a nice hotel room. They are going off-peak seasons that's on the beach. Like really, 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 they're not millions of dollars. Go check it out. They're like a couple $100. Get one with a nice straight glass. Like this is what happened for me when I was rebuilding. I went to the Hilton and didn't really have the money to do it, but did it anyway. Went there, and then that's where we built from. I've got that feeling back of, okay, it is what it is, and I've got to do whatever it takes to not let it get any worse, or and to actually get back to where I know I need to be, where my identity says I should be. So, yeah, go there.
I think that's an important point. Sorry to cut you off, but so many of us are caught up in the rat race of life that we don't take that time to get out in solitude, quiet the chatter, and go, okay, what is it that I really want? And I think you need that time. Like when I went to America recently, 3 weeks without the kids, I could finally think. Because I didn't have all those little tasks that I had to do as a mum and the little bodies chatting in my ear. So we've got to take that time for ourselves to figure out, okay, universe, why am I here? And ask some really good questions and go, what is it that I want in life? What kind of person do I want to be? Because that's when you're going to go, okay, now I'm willing to do whatever it takes because I'm very clear on what it is I actually want. But most people don't even know what they want.
Well, they're not in, because it goes back to what you said before. They're working on someone else's values. They're not even, their highest value might be family time, but instead of having family time, they're working 2 jobs. Or, like they want to travel, but they're hoping that their boss will let them travel at the end of the year. Like, that's not living your life. That's why you aren't inspired. So you just got to and the thing is and just reiterating on your boundaries, like that you're saying before, like if you allow your boss if you treat yourself like that, you're training your boss to treat you like that. You know what I mean? I worked at a garbage tip, and everyone was frightened of the boss except for me. And I got lots of respect because I'm like, dude, you can try to fire me. I don't care about this job. Do you think I care about this job? I worked hard. In fact, I got like some of the guys told me to stop working so hard because then they'd be expected to. So working for the government is different. So, but anyway, like I didn't have a fear from the boss because I knew where I was going. I had clear goals. I knew that no matter what, I was going to get back into my businesses. I was going to get back into property. I was going to get it all. This is a time where I was like pretty, like didn't have a lot. I was on the rebuild for sure. But they couldn't hold. They did not have the power to hold that job over my head like they did with everyone else, and they were frightened. So, you know, I was getting in, like everyone else was getting in trouble for being on their phone. I was actually building my business on my phone out in the open, and they're saying like, and they could come up to me, and I wouldn't. But I was working so hard, they weren't going to get rid of me. But that being said, because I held myself in that regard, I had those boundaries, and I knew what I was willing to tolerate. That energy got sent out on the field, and I didn't get treated like a piece of shit. And so don't let people treat you like a piece of shit.
And how good would it be going to your boss and saying, I don't need you, you need me, you know, because you're doing whatever it takes to just, because that, like, that was not your dream job, was it?
No way.
You were just doing whatever it took in that moment to put food on the table for your family.
Absolutely.
And you were prepared to go, you know what, ego aside, I need to take this job just to create some kind of income because I've lost it all, but I know where I'm going and I'm just doing whatever it takes. So it's very admirable.
Working a multi-million-dollar business, which was one of the largest in the area, multiple businesses, plus other things I was doing in other areas, to carrying people's garbage from their car to the pit. That was like, and people aren't prepared to eat that level of shit. They're not willing to go backwards to go forwards. And that, like, wrapping it in a bow, honestly, that is what it takes to do whatever it takes. Are you willing to do that? Like, I was digging holes in old cow paddocks to dig electricity into people's houses, and it was like I had calluses all over my hands, and I freaking kind of secretly loved it because I was getting a gym workout and I didn't have to run a business. I didn't have 65 staff, so it was kind of cool. But ultimately, that wasn't me. Like, I wasn't going to. And people going, Joel, how could you? Why would you go back and do that? You can go get all these other jobs. I'm like, no. This is just where I'm meant to be at the moment. So I was shoveling, and and then getting the tip job, and then bit by bit, opportunities came up. I went chasing for opportunities. I knew what I wanted. I want to get my businesses back. I wanted to get real estate back. I wanted to, and then I did it. It's funny how quickly it can happen when you just become obsessed. So,
absolutely. Do you mind if I plug the charity that we raised money for yesterday called Free a Girl?
People need to know about this.
People need to know about this charity because these people are doing whatever it takes, and it ties in really nicely with our topic today. So basically there's a charity out there called Free a Girl that frees girls from sexual slavery. Now, these girls are being sold off from their families because their families are so poor that they don't have the money to eat. So they sell their daughters to sexual slavery so that puts food on the table. Now, these girls are as young as 4 years old. Their ankles are being broken so they can't run away. They're put in cages, and they're basically sexually abused for hours and hours on end every day. Okay, so they don't even have control of their own bodies yet, their own minds, their own spirit. So what Free a Girl does is they're at the front line. They're literally there with the key, going into these really dangerous places to free these girls. And it's only $50 to free one girl.
It's a crazy amount.
Now, what they're finding though is if these girls aren't properly rehabilitated, they go back because it's their comfort zone. They know what to expect. They know what they're getting. It's certainty for them. So a lot of them, if they're not rehabilitated, they actually, they just go back to the cages because we're wired like that. It's meeting their human needs. So what Free a Girl does is for $1,000, you can help rehabilitate one of these girls so that she's got a shot at life, so that she can get the education, the help that she needs to repair from that experience and to be able to go out there in society and live a normal life, So this Free a Girl charity, I wanted to bring it in today because the lady that's running it is like, is doing whatever it takes. She has that mentality that she's found the cause, she's found her mission, and she's like, I'm going to be on the front line. I'm going to be one of the ones that goes into these dangerous places, turn a key, and get these girls out of there. And I think it's so inspiring. Whereas so many of us, Joel, and I'm pointing the finger at myself here, we are so quick to just turn a blind eye to this stuff that's going on, that we think that we can't make a difference. The problems are all too big. What could little old me do to help? But you know what? When we join forces with charities like this, when we find a cause that is in alignment with who we are, every little bit helps, guys. It really does. So if you go to the Free a Girl, you can follow them on Facebook. You can follow them. You can Google them and come across them. You can donate if you want to. But this is just one cause that's close to my heart, because I feel like this woman is the catalyst for change. The human trafficking, it's $1 billion industry. It's everywhere, and we need to start putting a stop to it. We need to stop tolerating it, but we've got to stop turning a blind eye to it as well. And it's not just that. There's so many things out there, like homelessness and all sorts of things. We've got to stop being ignorant. We've got to start taking responsibility.
People just didn't think that happened in the world anymore. Yeah. I've spoken to a lot of people since I've been part of this as well, and they don't know about it. They just think, oh, that doesn't happen anymore. That's olden day stuff. So it's very real.
Yep.
And it's like, what actually, two things that disgust me the most is like that it's not that there's a market for it. So it's not even that it's happening. That there's sickos that pay for this shit, and the fact that it's such a small amount of money.
Yeah,
like $50. Like, are you kidding me? People, like, things are that bad that they're that poor that and human life is worth so little in these countries that $50, they'd take $50 for a human. Like, you could give me $1 billion and you wouldn't get my kid.
Yeah,
there's no way. So, like, it's just, I don't know. There's just a future. So, like, do whatever it takes, whatever that is, whatever you can't tolerate, find it. Find that fire in your gut. And if you can't find it, don't wait 10 years to find it. You may find it in 10 years, or you can get a coach and find it in a couple of months. It's that simple. That's what coaching does. It gets you there that quicker. Or listen to more of these podcasts. Reach out to us. We're there for you, you know? Yeah. So, I don't know. Great podcast. It was a great conversation. I felt very conversational.
It was today, wasn't it? And it's nice to be here in the flesh with you, Joel.
I know.
And, not 16 hours apart.
Had to see the view, and you had to see where we're going to do the new program. So we won't mention it on here, but follow us on social media if you want to come. So
awesome.
Have a most outstanding day.
Damn.